CBT is cognitive behavior therapy. Now, cognitions are thoughts, and behaviors, as we all know, are what we do. So cognitive behavior therapy is based on a really sort of simple principle. If you can change the way someone thinks about something, you can change the way they feel about something, and then consequently the way they behave about something or towards something. And I think we've all been in those situations where if we're thinking negatively, life just seems a little bit more difficult. If you've ever, I don't know, been walking down your corridor at college and normally someone who says hi doesn't say hi. On a good day, you think, oh, they didn't see me. On a bad day, you think, I've done something to upset them. What could I have done? And you start ruminating and feeling bad about it. You see how the exact same situation can lead you to feel nothing or fine, or can lead you to feel worried and even upset for a long time. And it's how we work on these thoughts, how we work on changing these thoughts, it leads to feeling positive. For example, if we were to work with a phobia, the feeling is that I can't cope with being around the dogs. Dogs are very dangerous. Dogs are to be feared or to be stayed away from. If we just change that thought and think, well, some dogs are dangerous, but some are really cute and fluffy. And actually, I'm a lot bigger than dogs. And actually, I've got a lot of coping responses to deal with dogs. All of a sudden, a dog changes from this unmanageable fear to something that can even be cute and fluffy. So it's all about how you look at things.
When I was 17, my dad died suddenly from a heart attack. And obviously this affected me really badly because we were close. And I got quite low about it. But I also found that after a couple of months, I started to consistently worry about my health. It started off, obviously, with my heart. I thought everything was going wrong with my heart. And then I managed to believe that I had leukemia because I was tired all the time. And it got that bad that after sort of for a period of sort of 12 months to 18 months, I was convinced that I had a brain tumour just because I was getting a few headaches. So obviously because of this, all I was thinking about was just consistently thinking about dying, and being like sort of, I could always see myself in hospital, and it really got me quite low, just because I felt really scared and alone at that time.
Perhaps unlike other therapies, cognitive behavior therapy is really great because you feel like you're working with somebody. So there's things called homework in there. Now, not to scare you, but cognitive behavior therapy depends on you almost becoming a little scientist about yourself, starting to recognize negative thoughts, starting to realize how the way that you think affects the way that you feel. So what you'll find is it's a very interactive therapy. Unlike perhaps sort of traditional psychoanalytic therapies, it's not about this sort of hierarchical stance. You don't lie down and tell anyone about your mother necessarily, but what you will do is you will speak about your feelings, how things affect you, how perhaps something in the past affected you, your worldview, your beliefs about the future, all those shoulds and have-tos that we all carry around together. Now, CBT tends to be shorter than a lot of the therapies out there. That varies though, and I think one of the things that people shouldn't be worried about is how long it takes. It takes as long as it does, and the whole point is getting better. And if you think about it, time is going to pass by anyway. Might as well pass by getting the best kind of therapy for you.
Fortunately, my mum recognised after all the times that I'd been to see the doctor and that they were telling me that I was fine, that it wasn't actually that was wrong with me, it was sort of my mentality in a way. So luckily she paid for me to go and see someone private. And when I went to see them, they said that the best thing for me to overcome this would be to do CBT. So when they explained to me what CBT was, it sounded like really quite simple. So I didn't mind doing it at all. They said that what I needed to do was, every time I was thinking of a negative thought, I needed to think of a positive thought and then think about something else. So an example would be, I was thinking, I've got a brain tumour. So then I need to think, well, no I haven't, because I've been for so many tests, and I think like I'm a healthy young lad, so start enjoying myself. And then I think about something else to take my mind off it. So like football or anything, it could be anything. And if you persist with it, and you do have to persist with it, it is quite hard work because you're that stuck in a negative thought. But you do get there, and you notice the change like every month or every 2 months. You notice a big difference, and you do start to get a lot better. And sometimes you might have a fallback. you might have a relapse, but because you've got the tools to work with, as it were, and you know what you need to do, then you just get a lot better and you get a lot happier.
CBT can help one overcome an anxiety of issues, from depression to anxiety disorders, from phobias to obsessive compulsive disorder. It's been used in anorexia, it's been used in post-traumatic stress disorder. And the great thing about CBT is, from a scientific point of view, from a research point of view, it's quite easy to test. So you can get a lot of what scientists call empirical data, and we know that it tends to work very well. We have evidence of this. It's evidence-based therapy, which means that usually what your therapist is doing is something that's been tried and tested and studied and tends to work very well.
A few little tips for anyone that's really listening that sort of made doing CBT a lot easier for me was, firstly, I found it a lot easier to visualise what I was doing. So when you're thinking negative, and then you have to think of a positive. So when I was thinking, I've got a brain tumour, and then I need to think, no, I haven't, I'm a healthy young lad, I found it a lot easier to sort of see that in my head. So like build a picture and visualise the fact that I am healthy. And then it's as though like my mind sort of started to believe that instead of believing that I was ill. So I started to believe that I was better. And like doing that works really well for phobias and stuff as well. So if you're claustrophobic and you won't get on a plane, it's good to sort of, that's because you're thinking like, oh, the plane's really small, or I'm trapped. But if you think, no, like, you know, millions of people fly every day, it's fine, and then see yourself in that environment and try and see yourself being comfortable, then it works. The second thing was, you've really got to set goals, because it helps you to take your mind off your problem and challenge yourself. So I mean, these could be, you know, do really well at college, do really well at a sport that you do, or a hobby, or even get a hobby, or do well at work, and you know, and then set your mind on that. So where do you want to get? And then when you're trying to think about something else, you know, you can think about your goals and work towards that. And then the good thing is, when you start achieving them, then that makes you feel good as well. And the last thing is, I found it a lot easier because with depression, you're consistently thinking about yourself in a way. You're wrapped up in your own problems. So I thought, well, as a last resort, I found it a lot easier to think about other people and do things for other people, which that helped me take my mind off my problem, but also it helped me to sort of have a positive influence on someone else's life, and in turn that made me feel really good.